Recognized as the gentleman from Texas, Congressman Poe.
Thank the chairman. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to pick up where my colleague just, I think, left off. And I want to keep it real simple for me. Not for you, but for me. The government, under secret courts, gets a secret warrant to seize information from a bad guy. Let's just call him terrorist outlaw. And they grab that information from terrorist outlaw from their secret court with secret information, and the warrant for that document, if you want to call it a warrant, is never publicized to the public. Is that correct, Professor? Oh, I guess when I say professor, everybody looks at each other. I'll ask the witness that was just talking. Is it Goiten? Goiten, I apologize. Is that correct? That document, we call it a warrant. I don't think it's a warrant, but that document is never made public. Is that correct? I mean, that's part of FISA, that it's never made public.
Correct.
Okay, so they seize information about outlaw terrorists, and in that information, they inadvertently come across data, emails, phone conversations about some American. And they call that query. Is that correct?
Not if they just stumble upon it. If they're looking for it, then that would be called a query. It's all. Okay. It's very technical. There are different ways they can find the information.
But they seize it, is the point. They seize the information if they come across it, whether it's on. They're not looking for the information because the American's not the target. If it was a target, oh my goodness, we'd have to get a search warrant. So they're going to say that he's not a target, or the American is not a target. They just come across the information, even inadvertently, and if it's on purpose, they got to get a warrant. So I'm going to say it's inadvertently. Let's just assume in my hypothetical, they come across it inadvertently. And they read the information, or they have their computers read the information, and they seize that information, and they keep that information on whether it's one American or a bunch of Americans. Is that correct? I'm just asking.
Yes.
So they got that information.
Seize it all together.
Yeah, it's all together. And they got that information, and I think what you said from the last question was, they, in essence, keep that information forever.
Not forever. There are 5 years is the standard.
But they find excuses.
But there are a lot of exceptions.
Yeah, a lot of exceptions, yeah. So they got this information, and I don't believe the NSA ever destroys information, ever, on anybody. But once they have that information, and then they determine that that information is that this person, this American, may have violated the law. Then they make that person a target. They've got more information, and then they can file criminal charges on that information. Is that right or not?
Well, I mean, what worries me is, I guess it depends what you meant by making the American a target. If they actually made the American a target, legally speaking, and went and got a warrant or a FISA court order, we'd be in a different world. But that's not what happened.
But that's not what they do. That's not what they do. They get the information, they read the information, it's inadvertent. Oh, this guy may be a troublemaker as well. And they get more information based upon connecting all the dots to his emails, his phone calls, his conversations with his mother-in-law. He can get all that information, and then they can file criminal charges on him.
That's right, and they don't just have to stumble upon the information. That's what the backdoor search is. The backdoor search is the FBI says, I have a criminal investigation on Joe Blow. And look, I have this huge database. There's a bunch of Section 702 data in it, but I'm going to query that data to see what I know about Joe Blow.
That's right. So they come across the information through a FISA warrant, they get the information on the American, and then they file criminal charges, and all of that is done without a search warrant under the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution of the United States against that American citizen, correct?
That's correct.
And I think that is illegal and a violation of the Constitution, and an abuse of power by our government on Americans, for whatever my opinion is worth.
Mr. Chairman.
I yield back.
Mr. Jordan.